Hello. Pull. Oh. Ooh. Yeah. Woohoo!
Ethics is concerned what codes to be, what is right or wrong, good or bad. It is the base on moral reasoning and reflexes of values. It is formal reasoning process used to be determine rights conduct. It is professionally and publicly start required. Moral is the principle of rule of right conduct. It is privately or personally commitment to principle and values are usually depend on daily life. Types of ethics. Descriptive. It is the description of the values and belief of various cultural, religious, on social group about health and illness. Normative is a study of human activities in the broad sense in attempt identify human action that are right or wrong and good and bad qualities. In nursing, normative ethics addresses scope of practice of different categories of nurses and level of competence expected. Analytical analyze the meaning of moral term. It seeks of the reason why this action or attitude are either wrong or right.
Hi, I'm the Naprain Hatim, BSN student of PhilipC, section EXIMUS. So, common ethical theories. They have utilitarianism is a principle. Actions are right if they promote the greatest happiness for the greatest number. So, yung key points, it's galing to kay, according to Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill. So, yung focus is about consequence and overall utility. For example, allocating vaccine during a pandemic to save the most lives. Deontology principle, actions are right or wrong based on adherence to rules and duties, irrespective of the outcomes. So, according ito kay Immanuel Kant. Yung focus is about moral duties and principles. Deontology example is a doctor telling the truth to a patient out of a duty to honesty. Next is virtue ethics principle. It is emphasize moral, character, and virtues rather than rules or consequences. It is according to Aristotle. Ang focus naman is developing good character traits. Virtue ethics example is a nurse is showing compassion and patience, cultivating a moral character. Next is ethical relativism. So, it is a principle morality is related to cultural or individual beliefs. There are no absolute moral standards. Yung key points is, ito yung proponents galing kay Franz Boas and Ruth Benedict. The focus of this principle is about cultural and individual context. So, example is accepting different cultural practices around dietary restrictions. The next one is care ethics. Care ethics principle is stressed the importance of interpersonal relationship and care as a central ethical concern. Ito is galing kay according kay Carol Gilligan and Nell Nodin. The focus is relationship and care. Like for example is, a caregiver is focusing on empathetic and supportive relationships.
Hello sir, Assalamualaikum. My name is Marlene Hassan. My topic is ethical principle. Autonomy, beneficence, non-beneficence, and justice. Autonomy and development, psychology and moral, political and bioethical. Philosophy autonomy is the capacity to make an informed and sourced decisions. Autonomous organizations or institutions are independent or self-governing. Beneficence is a core principle and medical ethics that guide practitioners to act as they believe in the best interests of the patients. Non-maleficence is the obligation of the physicians not to harm the patient. This implies stated principles support several moral rules. Do not kill, do not cause pain or suffering. The last is justice. Justice is the ethical, philosophical idea that people are to be treated impartially, fairly, properly, and reasonable by the law and by arbiters of the law.
I am Mary Ann Waras, reporter number 3. My topic is Nursing Code of Ethics. The Nursing Code of Ethics, the document outlines in the code ethical in a nursing. According to the professor in ethics, it discusses the introduction to ethics and defines key terms. It then explains the purpose of having nursing a code of ethics, which including providing guideline of nurses in ethical dilemmas and enabling correct the uniform discussion. The document also discusses ethical principle of respecting autonomy, justice, veracity, and fidelity. It defined ethical dilemmas and the process of ethical reasoning. Finally, it providing the code of ethics of nurses in India, which is established standard from maintaining competence, respecting patient, and ensuring quality care.
Assalamualaikum. So for today is we are tackled about the non-maleficence. So non-maleficence, the non-maleficence that we should not intentional or unintentional inflict harm on others. To the expressions above, all do no harm, which has been used in medicine for centuries. In the healthcare, this means not causing unnecessary to those being cared for. This also means not causing harm to the patients through harm, such as pain, suffering, or injury. Then we have the 4 ethical issues related to the patient's right. So number 1 is right to truth. So right to truth, ang bawat tao ay may karapatan na malaman ang totoo hinggil sa kanilang kalagayan, kapaligiran at mga pangyayari sa kanilang buhay. So number 2 is right to refuse treatment. So right to refuse treatment, ito ay nagbibigay sa bawat tao na kapangyarihan ng tumanggi sa anumang uri ng paggamot o medikal. And number 3 is informed consent. So, informed consent, ito ay tumutukoy sa proseso kung saan ang isang pasyente ay binibigay na sapat na wastong impormasyon hinggil sa kanilang kalagayan, mga opsyon sa paggamot, panganib at benepisyo ng mga prosedurang medikal. So, the last number is human experimentation. Human experimentation, ito ay ang proseso kung saan ang individuo ng tao ay ginamit bilang mga subject sa mga eksperimento o pag-aaral upang maunawaan ang epekto ng mga bagong gamit kalusugan ng tao. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, good morning sir. Now I will tackle about the legal issue of nursing are critical aspects that every nurses need to be aware of to ensure they practice ethically, responsibility, and within the boundaries of the law. Here are some common legal issues in nursing. Number one is malpractice. Now what is malpractice? This occurs when a nurses fail to provide the standard of care expected, leading to patients harm. It's involved breaching the duty of cares, causing harm, and direct link between the breach and the harms. Number two is negligence. What is negligence? Maybe negligence is similar to malpractice, but usually due of carelessness of the unintentional mistake that result in harm to the patient. This can include errors in the medications administrations or documentations. Number three is defamations involve making false statement that harm someone's reputations. This can occur through libels, writings, or slander spoken statements such as inappropriate comments about the colleague on the social media. Number three is battery. So battery is reference to harmful and offensive physical contact with consent. Nurses must ensure that they have the proper consent before procedures that involve physical contact with the patients. Number five is confidentiality and HIPAA. It also maintaining the patient's privacy and confidentiality is crucial, violating the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. HIPAA, by sharing patients' information without authorizations, can lead to legal consequences. And number six is mandatory reporting. Nurses are mandates reports and must report instance of abuse, neglect of or other specific situations as required by law. Number seven, it is informed consent. It is ensuring patients understand and consent to treatments or to procedures is essential. Failings to obtain informed consent can lead to legal issue. Number eight, it is documentations. Accurate and timely documentations is crucial in nursing practice and indicate or empowers documentations can lead to legal challenge and affect patients' care. And also number nine, it is scope of practice. Nurses must work within their defined scope of practice, informing tasks outside. This scope can result in Nursing Practice Act or NPA. It is a set of law that governs the practice of nursing in every state and territory in the United States. These law are defined in the NPA. Maybe here in the Philippines, that's true, and are interpreted into regulations by each state. Nursing board or NPA provides guidelines, principles for the scope for nursing regulations, including defining terms, establishing and the authority of the nursing board, educational standard, the scope of nursing practice, licensure requirements, disciplinary actions, and more. So that's all. Thank you. Maybe the points of regarding the Nursing Practice Act include the purpose of primary goals of the NPAs to protect the public health, welfare, and the safety regulating nursing practice. Authority states board of nursing have been empowered to enforce the law of defining in the NPAs and discipline nurses who violate them to ensuring public safety. Wait. That's all. Thank you.
Types of law. Law governs the relationship of private individuals with government and with each other. Number 1. Public law refers to the study of the law deals with relationship between individuals and governmental agency. An important segment of public law is criminal law, which deals with action against the safety and welfare of public. Example, theft, homicide. Number 2, private of law of criminal. The body of the law that deals with relationship between individuals. It is categorized as contract law and tort law. Contract law involves the enforcement of agreements among private individuals of the payment of compensation for failure to fulfill the agreements. Tort law. The word tort means tort or bad in Latin. It defines enforced and duties, rights among private individuals that are not based on contract agreements. Examples tort of law applicable to nursing. Number 1 is the negligence and malpractice. And number 2, invasion of privacy and assault.